Down and Dirty MILFs, MILF Erotica 9-pack, Threesome Erotica, Breeding Erotica, Anal Sex Erotica, MILF Erotica Collection. Written by Tori Westwood and Nicki Menage. Narrated by Allison O'Keefe, Sierra Kline, Edie Olliver, Kelly Morgan, Cherry Jett, and Sallybeth.
Slide it in my butt, darling. Anal MILF 6. It's fair to say we were a sexually active household. Of that there was no doubt. Whilst each of us were active in our pursuits, they were often secretive. I'd regularly hear my lodger, Adam, tending to himself upstairs and thinking no one could hear. The rhythmic sound of his bed rocking or the wailing calls of the woman he watched on screen would often give it away. I myself had recently become addicted to ass play. I'd happened upon far too many videos of women trying it out for the first time and appearing to love it. I got so curious that I wanted to explore myself, too. It had started with a finger massage some weeks ago, and I noticed how it brought out of me an orgasm like no other. Since then, I'd begun to coax the tip of my finger inside, and I was having thoughts about trying something even bigger. My husband had always been quite the prude. If it wasn't the missionary position, he wasn't interested, despite some efforts of mine to push him on further. I guess he didn't view my ass as fair game, but sometimes I wish he'd just throw caution to the wind and get adventurous. So it'd come to this. Every time I masturbated, I make sure my husband was out of the house so I could really enjoy myself. On this occasion, though, it was fair to say I'd gone too far. I lay there on my bed beside my laptop, flicking through some of my favorite videos before I found one I liked. For some reason, I was already drawn to the sensual videos where a guy would be tenderly rimming a girl's ass before making love to it. This one was no different. I started to get comfortable, sliding my panties down and throwing them on top of my jeans that I'd removed earlier. My fingers started to tickle over my crease, gently coaxing out the juices as I watched the woman in the video get pleasured by her man. Before long, I was wet with desire and getting more adventurous. As I played, I moved my hand behind myself and found my smooth knot, circling it with a fingertip and teasing it open like I'd done in the past. One thing I'd learned was that a woman's asshole definitely needed some form of training before she went all in. While I anticipated some pain when I finally took something big, I didn't want it to be the pervading sensation. Gradually, my finger teased its way inside, and soon I was pleasuring myself from both sides. I started to moan softly as I closed my eyes and let my mind take me where it wanted to go. As I played, I started to hear the unmistakable sounds from the room opposite. I hadn't seen Adam all day, but now it seemed he was awake and he was servicing a very immediate need. Through the walls, I heard his bed start to rock, and if I concentrated hard enough, I could hear the tinny sound of a woman moaning in pleasure through the speakers of his laptop. I tried to continue, but my thoughts suddenly became polluted. With the sound of Adam going at it next door, I found my fingers breaking their rhythm. I'd slide one inside my asshole, and then an image of him would flash into my mind, sprawled out on his bed with his big, thick, delicious... I stopped myself with a huff, blowing a jet of air up my face and looking at the wall behind me. The sound stopped, and I closed my eyes again, trying to sink back into the fantasy. My fingers found their way back to my pussy and ass, and I dipped one in my honey pot to slather a fresh slick of my juices over my sensitive folds. I started to work my stiffened clit, coaxing it out further as whimpers began to escape my mouth. Then suddenly, the same rhythmic banging resumed all over again. God damn it! I hissed, jumping out of bed and into my panties. I trampled out of my room and stormed the corridor towards his bedroom, opening the door without so much as a knock and directing my fury straight at him. "Can you keep quiet?" I shouted, and then I took in the scene before me. Adam was laying on the bed above the sheets, the sunlight creeping through the blinds and striping his naked skin. His abs looked gorgeous.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?